happy to be alive and to be able to share my story and share the story of what happened there and speak out for those who aren't as fortunate and who have been kidnapped and murdered and can't share. Well, the rockets, as you know, started at around 6:30 a.m. I happened to have been resting by the campsite by the festival grounds at that time. One of the girls that I was with came over to alert me of what was happening at the time. The way she described what was happening with such calmness, she came up to me and she said that a few rockets had been intercepted overhead, but it's fine, it's normal for the area that we're in, it happens. Try to imagine a festival happening anywhere else in the world where a kid would react so calmly to a situation like this. That just wouldn't happen. But for Israeli kids, this is a reality. This is something that they have dealt with in the past and will probably deal with in the future, unfortunately. At first, we thought maybe the rockets would stop, the festival would continue, but obviously after a few minutes, as the rockets kept coming, we realized that this was a slightly different situation than the norm. Eventually, the festival security had turned off the music and asked everyone to please evacuate to their cars. On the way to our car, I had asked my friends if I could stop and use the bathroom. In my head, I thought, at this point, we didn't know that there were terrorists on ground, on foot, with guns. We thought it was just rockets, and we figured it would take a while to get out. There were thousands of kids trying to get out at the same time. I asked if I could go to the bathroom. My friends said, yes, go, and then meet us at the car. A few days ago, I saw a video that had surfaced of the terrorists coming to those exact bathrooms and just shooting at every stall, trying to kill anyone who was inside. That was one of the moments where it hit me the hardest, where I really realized how close I was to death. If I was in those bathrooms moments later, I might not be here today. Once we got to our cars, the festival security did everything that they could to escort everyone out safely. Most of them died doing their job. We all started driving in one direction, and eventually the festival security had asked everyone to pull over to the side of the road and get out of their cars and start running. And at first we couldn't understand why they would give us such directions. But once we pulled over our cars, that's when we heard the first gunshots. And it automatically occurred to us that being in our cars and being in such a confined space with so many cars was making us an easy target for the terrorists. We opened our car doors and we just started to run. Kids were running in every direction. Nobody knew which way was the way to safety. One of the most terrifying things was running, and after a while, thinking you're running to safety and then seeing dozens of kids running in your direction and realizing that they're running from a terrorist, they're running from being shot at, and you now have to make a split-second decision to change directions, and you don't know which decision and which direction is either going to save your life or get you killed. Along the way, I remember me and my friends passed by a ditch with a number of kids hiding inside from the terrorists, and they told us to get in the ditch with them and to hide. And we almost did, until one of my friends said, this is a bad idea. If we hide in this ditch and the terrorists find us and they're surrounding us from above, we have nowhere to run. That's it, we're done for. We decided to keep running, and we later found out that the kids who did stay behind and hid in the ditch were shot and killed. Eventually, we had run into a police officer. He didn't have much to protect us with. All he had was a handgun. He couldn't even call for backup because the terrorists had taken over the local police station and had taken over their radio station. And as he was walking alongside with us, you could hear the terrorists yelling on his walkie-talkie. If he did try to call for backup, he would obviously give up our position and they would know where we are and come for us. After about 4 hours of walking and running on and off, we decided to take a break. Try to imagine we have been in the sun all day. We had no water. We hadn't heard gunshots for a few minutes, and we decided to sit under a tree and get some shade. We were sitting with a number of other kids, and we see a big white pickup